Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for attending NCH Maintrain webinar. My name is Mandy. I'm your host for today. Just a few reminders before I get to the agenda of today's session. Kindly reserve your questions, or you may drop your questions in the chat box. Be sure to attend to your questions after the speaker's presentation. To get things started, I'll quickly run down the topic that will be discussed during the sessions. In this 1-hour webinar training, we would like to share with you and your team on Partsmaster Mega Repair application techniques, which can be used to effectively reduce the costly burden of replacing and repairing our industry's equipment. The applications of Mega Repair can be categorized into few groups: metal repair, rubber repair, pipe repair, and rust and corrosion management. Now, let's get to know our speaker, Mr. David Foreman, for today. Mr. David Foreman, Product and Technical Manager for Partsmaster with NCH Europe and APAC for 33 years. He developed several new technologies such as superstructural technology used on structural adhesive, cryophase, a preparatory process for treating cutting tools and increasing product shelf life, and hybrid technology on NCH Salvage II. Now, let's welcome our speaker, Mr. David Foreman, for his presentation. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Mandy, for the introduction, and welcome everybody to the Partsmaster webinar. What I wanted to do firstly was to just explain the Partsmaster mission. Partsmaster is a product line within the NCH group, and we're focused to provide customers effective solutions with our mainly focusing on mission critical areas. We've identified that maintaining critical pieces of plant and machinery, reducing downtime and improving efficiency is absolutely mission critical to many of our customers. Also, Partsmaster is possibly the most innovative product line within NCH, and we believe that Partsmaster and innovation go hand in hand with each other. The main product pillars within the Partsmaster product line is pipe repair, rust and corrosion. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do a short presentation, first of all, to introduce each area before I go into the specific products. So pipe repair and introduction. The size of the problem. It's difficult to get exact data, but in Europe, water leaks alone cost industry around 80 billion per annum. In Greater Asia, we would anticipate that it would be at least ×2 of that, so about 160 billion. So it's a huge problem. Pipe repair, it's mission critical. Pipes are everywhere in industry. If you look at any building that carries a liquid, a gas, steam, whatever, which is everywhere, you will realise that this problem is very broad. It's not just isolated to key industries. And pipework systems, they're mission critical to the activities carried out by the facility or establishment. Leaks plus damage plus health and safety issues increase downtime, increase cost and less profit. So it's very important that we can offer our customers solutions to this area. So these are our main pipe repair products. We have Mega Pipe Repair HD, Dyna Stretch and Seal, Aquastick, and Megafix It PW. So what I'm going to do, I'll play the video wherever we've got a video first, and then we will revert back to the tech sheet. Okay, so to just to go over the main features of the product via the tech sheet. Okay, Mega Pipe Repair, first of all, it's water activated, as we saw on the video. So it comes in a little foil pouch. You open the pouch and you activate it by immersing it in water. So it's very simple to activate. There's no complicated mixing ratios. However, once you've opened the foil pouch, you need to use all of the product because it's come in contact with the air, come in contact with moisture, so it will cure. You cannot use half and then put another half away to use another day. The other important point is its temperature resistance. Okay, it can resist temperature of up to 250 degrees centigrade. So that means it covers most applications, including steam pipe work. You notice we showed it being used on pipe bends, and that's because it's exceptionally flexible. So it can go around, bends and corners, and that is the areas where you are more likely to get leaks. It has a very high resin content, and that's one of the reasons why it's so active and why it's so efficient, is because it bonds together. Each layer of the bandage produces a very solid, homogeneous repair. Some of the typical questions we get asked are regarding chemical resistance. What we have a chemical resistance chart. We can share that with you all that covers that very complicated subject in some detail. It also has a RAS approval for contact with drinking water or potable water. RAS stands for the Water Research Advisory Scheme, and it has a very long shelf life. In fact, it's classed as indefinite. Areas of application are fairly obvious. Leaky pipes. Basically, though, it can be used on most pipe materials, ferrous and non-ferrous metals, plastic, ceramics, concrete. The one area that it cannot be used on is soft, flexible hoses. It's not recommended for that. Also, one important point, it is not recommended for use with pipes that are leaking while the pipe is still online. The pipe needs to be taken offline with no pressure in the system to apply the product. If you look at pressure resistance depends on the thickness applied. If we can apply a 12mm thickness, the pressure resistance is up to 10 bar. For 24mm thickness, it goes up to 27.5 bar. So that covers most major applications up to steam pipe work. One of our best sellers. Okay. So what does a customer do if he has a leaky pipe where he cannot take the pipe offline? Well, we have another solution for that, and that's a product called Dyna Stretch and Seal, which I will now play the video. Okay, so there are two pipe repair bandages. Now, to support those, we have two repair sticks. One is called Aqua Stick, and the second one is called Megafix It PW. They both use very similar technology, but they have slight variances between the two. So what I'm going to do is play the video for Megafix It PW that shows the principle of the technology behind both products. Okay, so what I'll do, I will go through the tech sheet for Megafix It PW, and then I'll just compare the difference between that product and also Aqua Stick. Both products they use the same process, i.e., a stick, a two-part product in a stick format, and they have similar functionality, but there are differences. So let me first of all deal with Megafix It PW. The most important feature of this product is basically it is NSF approved for contact with potable drinking water, which is very, very important. It's packaged in a stick format, so no mixing ratios to consider, as you've seen. It has a very fast cure rate. Initial hard cure is produced around 5 to 10 minutes. With functional strength, you can actually machine it within 1 hour. The mechanical characteristics are excellent. It has the ability to produce sufficient hardness to be machined, but also has a fantastic level of flexibility. And also it has a long shelf life. It's 2 years, basically. You would use it in conjunction with our pipe repair bandages to basically fill badly corroded areas or holes within a pipe, and then you would apply a bandage over the top of that. But as you've seen, it can be used for many, many other applications as well. And just to underline here, it has an NSF Type 61 approval, and that is for applications with potable water. As you can see, it can be used on a wide variety of materials. It can also be used on damp surfaces, but provided it's only atmospheric moisture. It's not designed for really wet or submerged applications. And it has a maximum service temperature of up to 150 degrees centigrade. Okay, so why have two? What's the difference between this product and Aquastick? Aquastick uses exactly the same technology, the same principle as I've explained. The main difference, though, is it can cope far better with very damp surfaces. Okay, so much so it can even be applied on applications which are fully submerged. The initial cure is a little bit slower. Basically, it takes about, working time is around about 20 minutes, but you still get a reasonably hard cure within 1 hour, and the shelf life is a little bit less, but it's still very stable product at 12 months. There's a whole list of applications you can see here. So it's not just for pipe repair, but it also supports pipe repair exceptionally well. Both of these products are what I would say the maintenance man needs to have them, but they work fantastically well with pipe repair. They support the pipe repair program, so that's why they have been put into this area. Okay. So that in summary concludes our pipe repair offering. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go through our rust and corrosion products, and I'll start us as we did before with the introduction. Size of the problem. Rust and corrosion is far bigger than pipe repair. The latest data that we have is that developed nations, they spend around 3.5 to 4.5 of their GDP, which is a total of about $2.2 trillion, basically on rust and corrosion. The most important thing, if you consider that, is our buzzword is metal matters, managing the rust threat. So I just want to go through some areas where rust can occur. They can occur in production. It can occur in transportation. It can occur in storage of metal parts. And also, most importantly, it can occur on structures. Rust causes microfractures and brittleness, and if left and not treated, eventually the component, the structure can completely collapse and fail. And that process can be accelerated due to environmental conditions, particularly where you've got high humidity and also acid rain problems like you do have in parts of Singapore, Malaysia, and also other APAC countries. A combination of time, oxygen, and water can cause parts of iron and alloys to rust. Rust causes weakening and eventual failure, as well as damaging user confidence and causing safety issues, particularly with regards to like critical areas like lifting gear, which you can see on the picture bottom right of my screen. And rust makes parts unusable, and then usually you need to dispose of them and replace them, costing your business unnecessary expense, because if you have a rust and corrosion preventative program, this can be prevented from occurring. Other areas where you get rust and corrosion: surface rust, visible all over, and that can quickly become unsightly, and also it gives the impression of a badly maintained equipment and premises. If you have customers coming in to visit your facility, if the railings are rusty, if the pipework is rusty, it gives a bad image, and eventually, if untreated, it can result in failure. Also, rust patches are a big problem. Certain areas of a structure of a tank may be affected more than others, so that can end up with rust areas and rust patches. And if left untreated, again, can cause bigger problems further down the line, particularly on things like vehicles as well. And also, once you've removed the rust, you need to prevent it from reoccurring. If you just simply remove the rust and leave it, it will come back, flash corrosion, etc. So you need to have a whole program. Basically, this really emphasizes the effect. If you have a new component and you have a preventative maintenance program in hand, you will see that you can elongate the life of the component considerably. If you do not, you will end up replacing very, very quickly, which is going to cause cost, not just cost of the component, but the time to replace it. So basically, that's the introduction. That is why rust and corrosion is so important. Right, okay. So here we see our rust and corrosion product line. Again, with the pipe repair, what we have done is we've tried to have a succinct product line, just enough, not too many. We don't want to complicate the issues, but we want to have enough products to cover the bulk of the situations our customers are likely to encounter. Our lead product in this area is Salvage II Plus. So what I'm going to do again, I'm going to play the video. Okay, so Salvage II Plus, what gives it such a fantastic performance? What's the main technology behind that product? Why does it perform so well? And why does it have a 3,000-hour salt spray test certificate? Well, that's because it uses the latest hybrid technology. Basically, if we look at the top picture here, this is a cross section, a typical cross section of a single filled paint, i.e. single component filled paint, such as red lead. Red lead is commonly used throughout the industry. What happens is that the corrosive media quite quickly will penetrate through the single component fill paint, causing corrosion. Salvage II Plus is a hybrid. It uses hybrid technology. So it's a combination of a very high performance resin, but also it contains two filler, and they are aluminium particles and also microglass flake. And what that produces is a much denser structure. So it means that the corrosive media has a much more difficult path to get to the substrate, the carbon steel. We call it a tortuous route. And that's the reason why Salvage II Plus performs so well. And that technology is basically owned by NCH. That's our technology that we developed. So just let me go through some of the other features of Salvage II Plus. The most important point of this product is it's 3-in-1. Basically, it treats the rust. You don't have to use a primer, and it provides a top coat. So it's an all-in-one solution. As I've said, it utilizes the latest hybrid technology. You've got outstanding resistance to corrosion, the salt spray test. Very fast application time, minimum surface prep. All you need to do is to remove any loose corrosion. Basically, it has a pot life of about 2 hours, so it's ideal for larger applications. And it can be overcoated if required. I've had lots of questions about can it be overcoated, because some people, particularly pipework, which we've just discussed about, they like to identify certain pipes that can carry certain media, be it oxygen, whatever, with a stripe of a different colour. Salvage II can be overcoated by virtually any paint. We can't think of one which it doesn't, basically. Areas of application, wherever you've got corrosion of carbon steel, a major problem. That's the main area of application. The coverage rate. Well, we sell this in a 10-litre unit, and that consists of two 5-litre units. So the coverage we've listed here is for one of those 5-litre units, and that will cover around 25 to 30 square meters. So that means this is designed for relatively large areas, basically. As we get into the program, you will see that we do have products for smaller areas, but we do not recommend part mixing this product. So that, in a nutshell, is Salvage II Plus. What I'm going to cover now is two of our products which are designed for rust removal. Okay, so these are designed to remove rust, after which you would have to coat them with another product to protect them from further corrosion. So the first one is Xrust 7, and what I'm going to do is play the demo video first of all. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to play you an application video for Xrust 7 as well, and this covers some of the main areas where you would use Xrust 7. Okay, so I'll just go through some of the main features of Xrust 7 via our tech sheet. The most important thing about this product is that it's pH neutral, and that is why it's called Xrust 7. The 7 means pH 7, which is pH neutral. And because of that, it is much more safer and a greener product to use than competitors' products that are usually more acidic. It is also, because of that, it's non-corrosive to steel, and it will not etch the surface and does not attack unrusted metal. That is really important. The other important point is it works at room temperature. You don't have to heat it. Fantastic 10:1 mixing ratio. So 1 litre of concentrate will basically make up 11 litres of product. And really, that is the main features of the products. It's a fantastic, effective, very green deruster. You will have to treat the derusted components within 48 hours of treating or applying Xrust 7. And that is another important point. Unlike acid-based derusters, Xrust 7 gives a protective layer on the component for around 48 hours, by which time you can either put a resistant oil or some other coating over the top to prevent corrosion occurring again. But this is designed for components that can be dipped, okay, that can be put into a tank. So what happens if you've got larger components that you can't dip, you cannot physically put them into a bath? Well, that is why we have Xrust Gel. Okay, so I'm quickly going to go through the major features via the tech sheet. So first of all, the major difference is this is a Xrust Gel. It's a thixotropic gel formulation, and it's ideal for applying onto larger surfaces. This is not pH neutral. It has a pH of 2, but it's only classed as irritant. It is not classed as corrosive. So it's still a lot more safer to use than a normal acid-based deruster. So you can use it wherever you can't dip a component. And basically the applications are listed there: buildings, agricultural vehicles, etc., parts of tanks, i.e. tanks holding liquids, etc., or gases. But again, this will work at room temperature. That's the most important thing. What you will have to do, though, is that once you've applied Xrust Gel, what you must do is you must neutralize the surface using ND150 or ND165, any of those products. So that is basically our rust removal products, which leads us on to the last 3 products in the range, which are these 3: Chalade, Stay Put, and Megametals Aerosol. I'm going to start off with Chalade. Okay, this isn't really a Partsmaster product; it's more of a chemical product, but it's still we're part of the same group, so they complement each other. Chalade is a rust converter. So what it does, in simple terms, it converts magnetic ferrous oxide, magnetic iron, to non-magnetic iron, and by doing that, it stabilizes the corrosion, stops it, and provides a primed surface. It's ideal for small areas or large areas, medium areas, because it comes as a single unit. It's not part mixed. It's not mixed in 2 components, and you just apply it with a brush. And then you allow up to 72 hours for it to react and to prime the surface, basically. And it prevents the need for sandblasting or grinding, etc. So it's a very, very effective product. It treats the rust and provides a primer. But you need to overcoat that prime surface. So what do we have to overcoat the prime surface? Well, we have 2 products here: Megametals Aerosol and Stay Put. And both are very similar products, but there is a difference. I'll pull up Megametals Aerosol first of all. Basically, this is a stainless steel aerosol. We call it stainless steel in a can. 100% of the filler material, so not all of the product, but just the filler, is 316L stainless steel. So it's designed for some of the most demanding conditions you could find. It coats exceptionally well, usually in one pass. It dries exceptionally quickly, and you end up with a fantastic finish at the end of the day. It's not like shiny stainless steel. It's more like a matte stainless steel. It has a temperature resistance of up to 121 degrees, and it is USDA approved for use in meat and poultry packing plants. So that means it's not designed for direct contact with food, but in the surrounding area, the equipment surrounding a meat and poultry packing plant, it can be used. Fantastic corrosion resistance when used with Chalade, basically. So that's why this product works hand in glove with Chalade, basically. Because Chalade will provide the prime surface and the treated surface, and then you can overcoat with the Megametals Aerosol. But look at that temperature, it's 121 degrees C. So we had several requests for a product like Megametals Aerosol, but would resist to a higher temperature. And that is why we came up with Stay Put. Stay Put can be used in many of the same applications as Megametals Aerosol, but the main difference is that Stay Put has a temperature resistance of 600 degrees centigrade. So it's ideal for areas where you've got very high temperature, like heat treatment facilities where you've got vents, exhaust systems, etc. But it can also do do the same applications as Megametals Aerosol, with the exception of one thing. It does not have a USDA approval for applications in poultry and meat packing plants, basically. And that can also be used with Chalade, provided that the application is not above 121 degrees, because the maximum application temperature of such Chalade is 121. So that wouldn't work. In applications like that, where you need to remove the corrosion before you apply Stay Put, you could use a product like Xrust Gel. That would be perfect, basically. It's very fast drying, exactly the same as Megametals Aerosol. The applications are the functionality is very similar, but the main difference is, one, it doesn't have a USDA approval, and secondly, on a more positive point, it does have a fantastic, much higher service temperature of 600 degrees C, basically. So that is basically the end of the webinar, of the presentation. And I would just like to say thank you all. And have you got any questions?